Hello and welcome back, everyone. I hope you all had a blessed week. So last time we watched Jesus step off the mountain and into the streets. We watched as he had compassion on a person who the world had thrown away, a soldier who humbled himself and simply believed. And we are still toweling ourselves off from the drenching storm that with a simple word, Jesus calmed. There's so much to learn from that. If you have not seen this video, I would encourage you to check it out here. The biggest takeaway was our words are nothing if there's no action behind them. Jesus didn't just preach a sermon and then leave the people to figure it out. He put his words into action. Now, I want to address something I had a discussion about when it comes to the Roman centurion Cornelius. Now, I know that many believe that he left his post afterwards to follow Jesus. This is apparently shown in apostolic tradition of Hippolytus. Now, while it may be a feel-good story, this is not about Cornelius or current soldiers having to resign, or that military service is sinful, or even that this was an even agreed upon stance within the early church even. When you read this, Hippolytus was actually addressing a very specific issue. A catechumen or baptized Christian who chooses to enlist in the Roman army is to be rejected. Notice it's talking about the Roman army, because enlisting in the Roman army in the 3rd century meant swearing oaths to pagan gods, participating in emperor worship, taking part in sacrifices, enforcing imperial cult practices, as well as potentially participating in unjust violence. Now, I get it. Everyone wants a world at peace. But the truth is there will always be those who are looking to oppress us. Protectors and defenders are necessary to keep the peace. And sometimes it requires doing things we don't want to think about. But I digress. Let's get back to our subject for tonight. Matthew tells us that after Jesus calmed the winds and the waves, he came to the other side. And what awaits on the other side is not applause, not comfort, not rest, but darkness. This is the moment where the ministry of Jesus stops being safe. This is where the disciples realize that following him means stepping into the places they never wanted to go. When he arrived on the other side, in the region of Gadareans, 2 demon-possessed men came from the tombs, met him. Now let's pause here for a moment and take in what's happening. The storm had just ended. The disciples are still soaked, still shaking, still whispering. What kind of man is this? And now the boat drifts towards the shoreline where things just feel wrong. The air is heavy. The cliffs are sharp. The tombs are carved into the rock like open mouths. This is Gentile territory, unclean, avoided, feared. And out of those tombs comes 2 men, not walking, charging, screaming, barely even alive, just surviving. Matthew says that they were so violent that no one could pass that way. People built detours around them. People avoided this place. People stayed away. But Jesus goes straight in. Because the places we avoid are often the places he intends to redeem. Now, before the disciples can even react, before anyone can process what's happening, the demons speak. "What do you want with us, Son of God? Have you come here to torture us before the appointed time?" Now notice something here. The darkness recognizes Jesus immediately, before even the disciples do. They know his name, they know his authority, they know his timeline, and they know their defeat is inevitable. This is the spiritual reality the storm was preparing them for. The storm tested their fear, but this moment tests their faith. Because sometimes the darkness is loud. Sometimes it's violent. It's overwhelming. but it's never in charge. So how did Jesus react to this? No spells, no ritual, no incantation or struggle, just presence, authority. Just the king stepping into territory the enemy thought he owned. The demons begged Jesus, begged him, send them into the herd of pigs. Even hell must ask permission. And Jesus gives a single word, go. That's all it took. Just one word from the one who calmed the storm, who touched the leper and marveled at Cornelius' faith. And the darkness flees. The pigs rush down the steep bank and drown in the water. A violent, visible reminder that spiritual oppression is real and spiritual deliverance is costly. Now here's the twist. You would think the town would be happy about this, that they would celebrate. You'd think they rejoiced that two men were finally free. You'd think they would welcome Jesus. But Matthew says that the whole town came out to meet Jesus. And when they saw him, they pleaded with him to leave their region. Why? Because deliverance disrupted their economy. Because freedom cost them something. Because the presence of Jesus exposed what they valued more than people. The healed men wanted Jesus. The demons feared Jesus. But the town rejected him. Sometimes the darkness isn't the demons. It's the systems we protect. It's the comfort we cling to. It's the cost we refuse to pay. This story teaches us something the mountain could not. Something the storm only hinted at. Something the disciples had to see with their own eyes. Following Jesus means stepping into places where people are broken, systems are corrupt, darkness is loud, and obedience is costly. It means confronting what everyone else avoids. It means loving people others have written off. It means walking into the tomb with the one who brings life. The ministry of Jesus is not safe. It's not tame. It's not comfortable. It's war. And he leads the charge. So where do we go next? Well, Jesus will leave this region. Not because he was defeated, but because his mission moves forward. Despite us. But the disciples will never forget this moment. The storm taught them fear. The darkness teaches them authority. And the next chapter will teach them the cost of being sent. So what do we do with this? We follow Jesus into the places we'd rather avoid. We trust his authority when the darkness feels overwhelming. We remember that the demons recognize him and they still obey. We also remember that the town that rejected him, and he still healed anyway. We remember that the men in the tomb were restored because Jesus stepped into their darkness. The mountain gave us the words. The storm gave us the test. The darkness gives us the mission. And now we walk. So what do you think? Was anything missed? Or was there something more you kind of wish I would have touched on? Love to know in the comments below. And of course, obligatory, like, share, subscribes, always appreciated. So until next time, God willing, God bless. Let him who has ears to hear, let us all hear.